Alrighty guys, we're back here for some more DCU What If. Well, this may or may not be the last video in the series. I don't know if I'm going to do Phase 4 because I have nothing to kind of make it for. Like, I don't even know if this is even going to be a good video, to be honest. But if you want to go watch the whole series, it will be in the eye in the corner as usual. But anyway, let's just move on to Phase 3. To be honest, this phase was actually kind of a mess to put together, but I think I did something that kind of works. But we'll have to see. You can kind of see a little glimpse of what I've gone for. But I tried to make it work with what I had and what I could come up with. So here we go. Here is DCEU's What If Phase 3. Alrighty, so we start with Green Lantern. It'll be Green Lantern 2, which will have a sub-name called War of Light. War of Light is based off the comic with the same name, but mine's a little different. So the villains, of course, will be the Red Lanterns, the most aggressive, deliberately, of all the Lantern Corps. Of course, I also want them to have the Manhunters. So what I want is the Manhunters to be... In the comics, I believe the Manhunters were the ones who were the Guardians versions of the Green Lanterns before they made the Green Lantern Corps. So that's them. So I'm saying that the Red Lanterns got their power from using the tech of the Manhunters to create the Red Lantern rings. Kind of. I don't know if that's happened in the comics at all, if that's what's happened, but there's that. So that's where the Red Lantern comes from. And of course the Red Lanterns has a lot, and I mean a lot of forces. They are literally like the war, like really warish, kind of like war ready members of all the Lantern Corps. So in the previous Lantern movie, I wanted there to be like a tease to set up the other Lanterns, so then people wouldn't see these guys come out of nowhere. Maybe Sinestro comes out of his cell from being arrested by the Green Lanterns. They had no choice but to recruit him. So Hal was sent off to go find the Green Lantern, like the rest of the people, where they're attacked by the Red Lanterns, which kills several members of Green Lantern Corps, which ends up having 2 rings fly off and attaching themselves to Guy Gardner and John Stewart, the 2 other Green Lantern members, human Green Lantern members left to be cast. Obviously there's Carl Rayner, but I won't get into that until maybe the next phase, maybe the next 3 phases I want to do, which is kind of the next like Infinity War level event, but we'll get to that if I ever get to it. So obviously I want all the Green Lantern Corps. I want there to be a relationship between Scarlet Sapphire and Hal Jordan, so I want that to happen. Obviously Larfleeze, the Skywalker, I think it's Skywalker, or I don't know what his name is, but it's the Blue Lantern, and obviously the Indigo Tribe. Of course, I actually want Hal to make a noble sacrifice in this film to stop the war, because he feels like there's something bigger going on. So he sacrifices himself to make, well, the war end. So that is Green. It's going to leave on quite a sad note, but we're going to be safe. Earth's still going to be safe thanks to the Green Lanterns, Guy Gardner and John Stewart. So that is my Green Lantern 2, aka Green Lantern War of Light. Okay, so the next movie in our list would be Shazam. Okay, I want Shazam to be kind of the same as before, but a little bit different. Instead of there being the guy who Mark Strong played, I'm not really sure who that was, who he played, but no one really knew who he was, and it kind of made the film seem kind of more comedic and made the villain kind of useless. So I want to change that by changing it to Black Adam. Have the same story, but with Black Adam swapped out, but this time have his origins being told in the beginning of the film. So what I want this film to introduce is the magical element to maybe the DCEU, so that way magic can be incorporated into the DCEU for later projects, maybe. That way they have it. Also, I want maybe a post-credit scene wherever the Shazam family end up capturing and depowering Adam, and basically putting maybe a muzzle on him to make him stop talking, is to have him get broken out by several members of the Legion of Doom, such as Lex, Joker, Cheetah, maybe Giganta as well, maybe even Black Manta. Basically just the Legion of Doom. And maybe even Lex could say, we need to make a league of our own. Kind of teased that for the next film. So that would be Shazam. Kind of short, but yeah, Shazam. Okay, so the next film is going to be a bit of a different thing, because you may have noticed I haven't done a Suicide Squad movie yet. It's because I didn't really like Suicide Squad, and well, I feel like that movie was just in the middle, just for the sake of giving us more time until Justice League, which of course didn't happen. The real Justice League that we wanted didn't happen. So this film is going to be a little bit different. So it's going to be the League of... Basically, all the superheroes, the Justice League, are going to get captured by this new team of superheroes that the public think are heroes. It's like, make it out that they're from a different universe, from a different multiverse, in the multiverse, just to do while the League... They say that the League is off-world. So I kind of base this off the plot of Lego DC Supervillains. If you've played that game, you know what I'm talking about. So the Crime Syndicate will be the villains of this film, but also they're not the villains, because the villains are the main characters of this film. So of course, Lex brings together the Legion of Doom. Of course, we find out that the Crime Syndicate are actually... they're working for Darkseid. They basically get destroyed by Darkseid by the end of it because they failed, because they get beaten by the heroes as villains. So it gives the villains a nice little bit of timing to get to be together, and yeah, that could be that. And also we find out that one of them may have stolen a mother box. One of them may have stolen a mother box, but we don't know where from. That's a little tease to leave on the end, to leave it on that. But he doesn't kill the Crime Syndicate, I think would be a good idea. So Darkseid doesn't kill the Crime Syndicate, and everyone goes back to normal the way it was. But a few things have happened along the way. That the Crime Syndicate have done some things. They have stolen some stuff. They have killed people. Yeah, so let's just say some of the stuff for everyone has been a little bit different. So that is Legion of Doom. Okay, I'm very looking forward to this. So this would be the third Batman film in... This will be the trilogy of Batman films. It will be Batman under the Red Hood. So, of course, what could have happened is we see Batman's perspective of being captured by the Crime Syndicate. So he was on a mission with Jason Todd, and he gets captured while trying to save Jason Todd, but Jason Todd doesn't know that and thinks that Batman left him to die. So that after he dies, he wakes up after the League of Assassins who trade Batman goes to Red Hood, Jason, and puts him in the Lazarus, brings him back up, and basically ruins the relationship between Jason Todd and Batman. But no one kills each other. It's the same way that the film ended. Very open-ended. But we want to break Batman's morals down. Yeah, so that is Batman Under the Red Hood. Very simple, as it needs to be. It's very simple. Batman Under the Red Hood. Now then, we're moving on to about halfway through this. Yeah, we're about halfway through this phase. We are now on Flashpoint Paradox. Of course, as I said, some things for the Legion of Doom, like the Crime Syndicate, have changed a few things. I'm not sure what it could be. It could be anything, basically causing Barry to... Maybe he chases after Zoom, trying to get him back into his cell or something, and ends up running back to the point where he literally says, why not I just change everything? Why not just save my mother from that day? Or maybe even have this be Barry's origin. Like, he's... I'm trying to get to a... I'm not really sure how the movie would set up, but I think this would be a perfect place to put it, for reasons later that I will explain at the end of the phase. So, it's the exact same plot as Flashpoint Paradox, the animated film. Obviously have the villains of this film actually be the Justice League themselves, but different versions. So, for example, Aquaman and Wonder Woman are warring against each other, the exact same like that they were. But have Batman be a little bit different. So Batman is obviously Thomas Wayne instead. So that could be kind of a cool little storyline they could go with. Bring the same actor that they used for back then, when they do flashbacks maybe of Batman's killing, like parents dying. That could be really cool. And have it so when Barry gets back to his own timeline, the one he should be in, have it so Thomas, Flashpoint Batman Thomas, wants Barry to give Bruce a letter. Gives him the letter, and basically it says, if you're like me, you know that we may not like what we do, but we do it because we know it's right. Basically, kind of give Bruce his motivation back that was lost with Jason, and kind of help him maybe decide that maybe it's time to move on and find a new Robin. Maybe he did that in this film. Maybe he did that in Under the Red Hood, but we don't know. So basically, yeah, so Flashpoint Paradox would be a cool film to go next to help Bruce make sure that he knows that he's not wasting his time being Batman and he serves a greater purpose, sort of thing. So that'll be Flashpoint Paradox. A nice heartwarming story for Bruce as well as Barry to grow stronger together and kind of understand each other a little bit better. So that'll be Flashpoint Paradox. Alrighty, so now we're moving on to Aquaman 2, which will be called Aquaman King of the Sea. So, during the last Aquaman film, he becomes King of Atlantis, but he's not really seen by all the members of, like, the council, like, people who run certain areas of the sea, like the North Atlantic, stuff like that. So we saw that he becomes the King of Atlantis, but he's not really chosen to be the King of Atlantis. He's not like, he is rightfully the king, but he's not worthy of being king. But this would be proved to the test because here comes Black Manta to get his revenge from the first Black Manta. He starts another war underneath the sea, and Aquaman leads a charge to basically confront him and, you know, make him go away and prove that he is king. So of course I had inspiration from Young Justice because of a certain storyline that could be really cool. Obviously I said it's going to be Black Manta's going to be a villain, and Aquaman being worthy king, but the Aqualad Black Manta storyline could be really cool here by having Aqualad be the son of Black Manta, and that sort of thing could be really cool. And yeah, and set Aqualad to be a good replacement as Aquaman for the Justice League once he's old enough. Yeah, and Aqualad could be introduced in this film, and yeah, I thought that'd be really cool. Cool way of doing that. Also, I mentioned in the Legion of Doom film that one of the mother boxes would be stolen. It was the underwater. So they go into the vault to find that their mother box has been stolen while Aquaman has been away, seemingly kidnapped by the crime syndicate. So that could be cool, and then that means Darkseid has another mother box. That's 2. He only needs 1 more. And that is Aquaman 2, King of the Sea. Alrighty, so now the next film on our list would be Nightwing, Young Justice. Okay, so this film would probably be based off Young Justice Season 2. Which now I think about it, I didn't... Yeah, so it'd be based off Young Justice and Titans Season 2. Obviously, after leaving Batman a while ago, we actually catch up with Dick, and he's, been a policeman and all that. Skip all the filler episodes that we don't need. Introduce some of the core members of the Justice League, like Beast Boy, Starfire, Raven, and obviously the villain would be Deathstroke trying to kill the members of the I guess the Teen Titans would be more accurate here. Obviously introduce the Teen Titans and have it so Dick becomes Nightwing. He basically becomes Oracle in this film, wanting to be... Even though it's named Nightwing, it's going to be a Teen Titans movie, but obviously the leader will be Dick Nightwing. So that'll be pretty cool. Teen Titans introduced, as well as Nightwing to be a good leader for the future. So there you go. Nightwing Young Justice. Okay, so this will be the perfect setup for the next movie. So this would be Superman and Supergirl. Introduce Supergirl the way that she was in the comics, especially in Supergirl Season 1. But this, I took a little bit of inspiration from the game Injustice 2, if you've played that. So the main villain would be Brainiac. Brainiac is the person who destroys Krypton in this timeline. So that would be a cool little way to introduce that. And it's up to Superman and Supergirl to stop him. But in the process, after they defeat him, this could be a cool version of what Ragnarok did. That they literally was like, we've saved the day, we can head back home. But they look up and they see a ship above them. It's Darkseid. But this time we actually see what happens, like we do in Infinity War. Supergirl is sent plummeting to Earth and has to warn the Justice League, setting up the next film. But Superman is turned into a slave by Darkseid using one of the mother boxes. So he's now become a slave. Okay, so this is going to be 2 movies left until we're at the end of Phase 3. This will be the Infinity War type film where the villain actually wins. As I said, Supergirl will be the one to warn everyone, but it's going to be too late. He's coming for Victor, just like Thanos was for Vision, kind of sort of situation, because Cyborg, remember, has the mother box inside of him. And basically the movie ends with everyone becoming a slave. The only option is, well, is for Barry, the Flash, to change the timeline for good. He needs to go back and warn everyone, just like we saw with the Flash time travel scene back in previous film. So that way we can have a little bit more of a repeat, and obviously the nightmare sequences would happen. So, Apocalypse, Darkseid will rule the Earth with his parademons, I believe they're called, and basically everyone will be enslaved to Darkseid as he's got all 3 mother boxes. Just before Barry runs off, he is grabbed on the shoulder, pulled to the side by a man called the Monitor. And I'll get to that in the next movie. So that is Justice League Apocalypse War. And so this will be our endgame sort of event for the DCU. I feel like Crisis on Infinite Earths would be a good pick here, as it is a pretty big event in the comics as well as on the TV show. So obviously I base this off Crisis on Infinite Earths. Where we left off, Barry, he was grabbed by the Monitor, and he was given so what happens in this one is he's given an option. Change the timeline for good, or help the Monitor to create a new timeline. Create a timeline where he could warn everyone of the oncoming threat of Darkseid that no one knew up until now. But they also have to stop something called the Anti-Monitor. So have the 2 films connect, but this will be obviously a longer film, just so they can fit all the storylines in. But what I want for this film is to be a little bit... It's going to be a bit jam-packed, having different multiverses, different multiverse of people. Obviously, I've kind of made this up as I go along. This is the only thing I can kind of come up with that would be kind of cool. So, have Batman die at the end of the final battle. Have Batman kill Darkseid, sending off Bruce Wayne's character pretty nicely in a bow, and there we have Batman's death, just like Tony Stark's death in Endgame. So that would be pretty cool there. Obviously, Darkseid would be killed, and Batman breaks his one wall to save the universe and the multiverse, which of course in the next phase all the multiverses will be connected. There will be no other multiverse. Jay Garrick and Barry all live on the same Earth, but also want a return from Hal Jordan, who died in this phase, which I've already said, but he becomes the Spectre, killing himself and the Monitor with him, the Anti-Monitor with him. But obviously the Monitor dies trying to protect everyone in this film, just like in the crossover and for the CW's Arrowverse. If you haven't watched that, go watch it to understand what I'm talking about there, if you don't understand. Right, and I also want Barry Allen to make the ultimate sacrifice, knowing that his decision to do this has worked. No more Darkseid, no more Anti-Monitor, and it's worked. Everyone's happy, everyone's living on the same Earth. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, I've said that this is a very jam-packed and a lot of confusing. This is the best I could come up with. So this is the final film of Phase 3. And this is Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. So, that is my Phase 3. DCEU. This is the best I could come up with for good storylines. I don't think it really made sense near the end, especially with Crisis getting involved, but it's the best I could come up with. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I might not make a Phase 4, because Phase 4 in the MCU is still happening. It's only just started. It's only a few hours until episode 5 of WandaVision gets released for me. So that's a problem for me. So obviously, yeah. So I might not do Phase 4. But I will tell you this. For the next, Crisis, Infinity War, Endgame storyline, I was going to go with Green Lantern as a Green Lantern film, but Blackest Night would be the next film. Would be the next big 10-year event to celebrate the films. Maybe I should have done that for this phase, but I tried to work with the Snyder Cut films. But yeah, so this might be the last video of DCEU, so that's why I told you. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it got a bit confusing, especially in this one. This is the best I could come up with in short notice. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you some more content on the channel. I might make a new video at some point. Obviously, I've got the universe mode coming up, as well as I might make a how to introduce the X-Men characters. Maybe I might do that if they haven't done that already. So yeah, that is going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you later. Alright, see ya.